Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. I'm going to tell you a slightly confusing story. So remember how like 2 weeks ago we had news that banks were trying to buy Bitcoin. Not the banks who were trying to buy Bitcoin from the people who were mining Bitcoin, but we heard that there were, I think, 13, I think, different banks within the United States who people had looked through SEC filings and basically found out that these banks had also been purchasing the BlackRock and Fidelity, ETFs to gain exposure to Bitcoin, which also I assumed would have made more news because we had like actual proof that banks were buying Bitcoin, but nothing seems to really excite this market anymore. The other news is that there's a company called WisdomTree. WisdomTree is one of the companies that actually was approved for a spot physical Bitcoin ETF back in January from the US SEC. They're back in the news, and I only saw this on like one or two different websites, and I'm a little confused because the news kind of came out of nowhere. And I also stupidly assumed that this would have also been more popular news because of the news that it actually is. So once again, keeping in mind, WisdomTree already has a Bitcoin ETF. So a company, the same company over and over. We used to get a lot of like Chainalysis and sentiment news. For some reason, everything is just Arkham Intelligence. And Arkham Intelligence basically apparently was scouring through the chain and found this information, but the information should have been public or was already public. But the issue is that we've never seen this news. I've never seen this news anywhere at all. WisdomTree apparently also has a physical Bitcoin exchange traded product. It is not an ETF. It is actually quite similar to the trust fund that Grayscale had that got converted into an actual ETF that we've been hearing so much about in the news. WisdomTree actually has a Bitcoin exchange traded product called WBIT, the letter W and then BIT, not to be confused with, where's the other one? To be confused with WBTC, which is the WisdomTree Bitcoin exchange traded fund. You with me? Probably not, but stay there. So WBTC is their ETF and WBIT is their ETP, which also is in the news right now. And when I say that I assume that this would have made newsier news, it's because the people from Arkham Intel shared on Twitter and was like, hey, has no one paid attention to this? The WBIT Bitcoin exchange traded product actually is holding 8,900 Bitcoin. It says which is currently valued at $579 million. I don't know how they did this. Like I can't. Well, that's why they're Arkham Intelligence. They apparently found this information that it was connected to WisdomTree, and the 8,900 Bitcoin are actually spread across 134 different wallets. They say, of course, as a security measure. I guess it makes a lot more sense than having all those coins in just one wallet. Apparently, it says the WisdomTree WBIT is a physically backed ETP. It aims to provide investors with a straightforward, secure, and cost-effective method to invest in Bitcoin. They have transparency and a whole bunch of other words to get you to put their money there with them. But once again, no one's talking about this. No one has brought out this information except for Arkham Intelligence. And I think it's another one of those situations that kind of gets me a little bit annoyed, where because the number isn't six-figured, that a lot of people simply don't care about it, which is a current problem that we have running rampant through the cryptocurrency space. So for instance, before, all the news was based around the idea that BlackRock alone was doing $500 million worth of Bitcoin purchases every single day. And then it was Fidelity News and mainly BlackRock, and it was a huge amount of money. And then we heard at some point, this was a week ago, I think BlackRock was only doing the equivalent of around 450 Bitcoin per day. But the issue is that 450 Bitcoin is all that's actually being mined from the actual machine right now. So a lot of that news, as I said before, was actually framed as negative because it was like, well, they're not buying as much as they were before. Bitcoin's in trouble. And it's like, no, they're still accumulating the entire, just BlackRock, the entire daily Bitcoin amount that's being created by themselves. That doesn't also account for the other ETFs. It's not accounting for the Hong Kong ETF, all the Singaporean ones, all the Australian ones, and the Canadian ones, and the German ones, and etc. So when we do get news about a company holding crypto, and it's nothing like mega spectacular, a lot of people seem to not care. Like we also had news recently. I didn't have it on here. I had it on the other channel. That MicroStrategy, who now holds, I think it's 214,000 Bitcoin. That's no longer like newsworthy because recently they only purchased 113 Bitcoin because they wanted like a round number. So they got exactly 113 Bitcoin. And I remember being like, whoa, that's a lot of Bitcoin that just left the market. And people were like, well, it wasn't 10,000 Bitcoin like they've done before. So I think this is kind of one of those things. A company found this information, brought it to the public, and no one thought it was interesting. This is another company who, beside from their ETF, has an ETP. It has almost 9,000 Bitcoin on it. That's, I can't count. Wait, 2, 10, 20. That's a lot of times the amount of Bitcoin that's actually being mined per day, and no one knew about it. So I always hope that we just simply do better in the future and that people stop pretending like this news isn't absolutely major. Because once again, every time a Bitcoin is taken off of the market, essentially the equal share that could be had of Bitcoin completely gets wiped away for a couple hundred people. So that's, you understand what I'm saying, but it's a little frustrating because, I mean, this has been happening for years. Like, this isn't something brand new. This isn't like, oh, it's Monday, time to not pay attention. This has been going on for a very long time, as long as I've had this channel and the other channel. There's always like a sense of like almost blasé in the market if things aren't directly tied to Bitcoin's price. I could bring you tons of news over the course of a 3-year period that every day someone's buying up 10,000 Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin's price falls by 0.5% or 1% per day over the course of 3 years, no one's going to really listen. That's what usually happens during bear markets. Everyone kind of, oh, well, cool. Oh my gosh, all the comments I used to get. Well, why isn't the price moving up? And I'm like, well, why aren't you paying attention? And then when the price does triple, that's when everyone goes, oh, I should have been buying. And it's like, yeah, so once again, I guess this is a case of rich people still buying and paying attention to the market for the long term, while many, once again, I know some of you are listening, but it's also like no one paid attention to this news. $579 million worth of Bitcoin is in another fund that a company had to find. Anyway, yeah, so I guess that's optimism news, is that all the Bitcoin that's for 8 billion people keeps getting bought up by the people who already own yachts and islands. I do hope you've all enjoyed. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I do hope you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.